And Mr. Chair, you're good to go.
Thank you very much. Welcome everybody to our Environment and Sustainability Committee meeting for Tuesday, the 26th of May. We'll first do call to order and then any declarations of conflict of interest. John? Okay, we're all good to go. If everyone has the agenda there in front of them, we're looking for approval of the agenda, or if anyone has to add anything, now would be the time. If I see none, I'll ask for approval.
I'll approve.
Yeah, also move.
Okay, thank you very much. The minutes are there before you for April 28th. You just want to take a second or two just to go over those, and if you have any questions, now would be the time.
No, also move to adopt.
Okay, moved by Councillor Rivard.
Second.
Seconded by Councillor Julian Kay. Thank you. And so there's no business arising from the minutes I see. We'll go right into reports. We'll start with the PACE program, and Ramona will do an introduction for us.
Everybody hear me okay?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So I'd just like to introduce everyone to Julian Boyle, who's joining us here today from the Police Atlantic Group. So welcome, Julian. So he's here to answer any questions that we might have on this discussion. So we brought this to committee last year for discussion after we adopted our community energy plan. PACE financing is property assessed clean energy, which is essentially programs that allow people to make retrofits on their home for different energy needs, whether it's efficiency or adding renewables, and offer low interest financing from a public body for them to be able to do that. So
You're phasing out, Ramona, if you can correct your speaking, you're fading in and out. You have to.
Any better?
Sorry, go ahead and test.
Okay to go ahead?
Much better. Go ahead, please.
Okay, great. So we discussed this last year. So we've been working on developing this PACE programming ever since our discussion.
Okay. Let me see. I can turn this down instead. Just a sec.
Municipalities in the Maritimes to put together an application to the FCM funding for financing, community financing for these programs.
Yeah.
So we're at the phase right now where we're ready to move ahead with submitting that application to FCM. We will need to sign an MOU with the city, which is attached to the report. You can review it there if you'd like. So PACE Atlantic will basically serve as the administrator of the program. They'll provide support to us and help us collaborate with Efficiency PEI on offering this financing. But the rebates and the incentives that Efficiency PEI offers will still stand. So they'll provide those rebates and incentives, and we'll provide that low interest financing. And essentially it'll enable people to be able to make retrofits on their home that they perhaps wouldn't be able to while accessing standard financing. Either they couldn't access the financing or the interest rate would be cost prohibitive from them. So we're really trying to remove any barriers that people have to doing sort of major upgrades on their homes that will pay back in terms of efficiency, but it might be that upfront cost that is a challenge for them. So basically at this point we will need to develop a bylaw. So the MGA does support us to be able to offer LICs, and PACE would be fit under that, but we will need to put a bylaw in place to allow us to do that. And payments would be collected through water and sewer utility bills. So in lots of provinces where the municipalities will collect municipal taxes, they can offer it on people's property tax bills, kind of like your black bin, your IWMC fee on your property tax bill. But because we don't do that here, we kind of investigated that pathway, but determined that that was going to be a challenge. So we want to move ahead with doing it that way. So I just kind of want to open the floor if there's any questions from any of the committee members. Either Julian or I can respond, and then we can talk about next steps.
Thanks, Ramona. I do have a question just on so will this include converting your let's say I want to convert my house over to completely solar. Would this program go that far?
Yeah, so you're allowed, that'll be more restricted in terms of the size of solar that's allowed in PEI. So we allow up to 100 kilowatts with the PEI Energy Act. So you can put in up to 100 kilowatts to service your home. But yes, you could do a larger scale solar project with this funding.
I might just pitch in here. And first of all, thank you very much for inviting Ramona and Peter and Chair. Some of the limitations on the financing would be the value of the home to the loan ratio. So most PACE programming is maxing out the loans at 15% the value of the home. So we do see some homeowners participating, and maybe they're at 14% and they want to do something else while they pay off a certain amount within a couple of years, and then they can continue to do things. So from what I'm hearing, you're kind of taking a pretty typical example where you want to get off of oil, maybe put in heat pumps, but you also want to generate your own electricity through solar. And so, just ballpark, that could be a $30,000 or $40,000 retrofit. And, so it'd be in the context of the value of the home and the ratio of the project to that value.
Right. Okay. Oh, good. Thank you very much. Clears the air. Any questions, folks?
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
I was just going to say, so let's say Councillor Rivard wanted to do a project where he wants to heat his pool with solar. Say, would that be part of this program?
Anything that basically is going to save energy from the status quo decision. So,
okay, cool.
I don't think I've seen a solar hot water heating pool project yet, but I don't see why it wouldn't qualify.
Why would? Yeah.
I'm just wondering who's going to pay for the pool. It's a great idea.
You should have taken the one from your own house.
Yeah.
Yeah, pools aren't included.
But I will add to that, energy efficiency, and Julian, correct me if I'm wrong here, it's 70% of the financing that you receive has to go towards energy efficiency. Not that a pool would necessarily be eligible, but if we ever wanted to do like a climate adaptation project where it was a flood proofing for basements, or if we wanted to do something else in that vein, sort of that sustainability style project for homeowners, that could be financed under this program. Is that correct, Julian?
Yeah, and actually that's one of the unique aspects of the Charlottetown programming that we're designing is doing a lead pipe replacement on private property. So I've been discussing with Richard McEwen, your water manager, basically aligning the municipal infrastructure lead pipe replacement project with the lateral connection on private property, and providing through the FCM grant some incentives maybe to encourage homeowners to do it at the same time as the municipal project. So Ramona's quite correct that the funding is not just around energy, but also like kind of some broader sustainability concepts too. And Halifax Water has used the PACE mechanism to do that same kind of alignment of municipal and private property infrastructure coordination. So it's going to be a very interesting application in Charlotte as well.
Any other questions, folks? See not. I just want to say thank you very much. It's a great project. Looking forward to it, and that NHPI is a big partner in this for sure. It's a great plus for the city of Charlotte. If nothing else, we'll move on to B of our reports, discussions, and that's the Frank McCauley update. I think it's just a verbal update, I believe. Is it, Ramona?
Yeah, And Mr. Chair, if just on that recommendation, so for the Pace Atlantic, we were looking for approval to move forward with the funding application. And that we would like to bring that to council for endorsement. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll need a mover.
I'll move. I'll move to accept.
Okay, Councilor Rivard, seconded by?
I'll second.
Okay. That works. Okay, thank you very much. All those in favor?
Is it your intent to take this to council on Thursday, Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, sorry about that. To jump back to the Frank McCauley project,
I'm going to sign off. I'm going to sign off. Excuse me, but thank you very much. I hope to meet you.
Thank you, Julian.
Yeah, thank you, Julian. Very nice to meet you.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so Frank McCauley. I guess.
Can you hear me okay?
Jessica's got this thing, yep.
You can hear me fine?
Yes, yep.
Okay, perfect. So Frank McCauley update. This is regarding the swale that we are building in the park. And to follow up on the swale, there'll be a community event to get the public involved in planting and celebrating the natural environment in the park, learning about nature and wildlife. So the swale construction will be completed this week. Matheson's construction were the successful contractor for that project. So they just have a few finishing touches to do on the swale this week. And then the site will be hydro-seeded in the following weeks. And then we are working on a fall event.
Me too.
And I've reached out to PEI Wildchild about that and the Allens Creek Watershed Group. So we'll have some partners working with us on that event. So that's basically the status of it. I'm not sure if Councillor McLeod, you had specific questions, but that's basically where things are at with the project.
Not so much a question, but I guess just a little more just conversation on having Allens Creek down there as well, and some positive outlook for the park down the road as Ellen Creek is what's the gentleman's name? Norman Dewar. Norman was very excited, and he thought the park would be probably one of the last possible places where the city could actually have a sanctuary for the environment, duck pond, if you will, because it has an inlet of water and it also has an outlet. So he was very excited to see the park in the shape that it's in, and there's going to be some future talks what we could do possibly with the park based on engineering studies of where the water is coming from and all that. So really positive. It's great to see our green space. When it makes other people excited, it's kind of nice to know the city's been doing the right thing. And just want to say thanks to the staff for keeping the park looking so good. So outside of that, that's all I have.
Yes. So I did reach out to Scott Adams about the study that you referenced during our site visit. And so we're just trying to locate that now. I don't have a copy, I don't believe, of. Said there was a pretty extensive study done of the catchment area maybe back a few years ago.
Yeah.
And then after we have that, you suggested that we get together a meeting with different partners to discuss of beyond the swale, what's the next chapter of that as far as making use of the space in the park for water collection, whether it be some type of pond or improvements to the rest of the creek.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. It will be exciting to look at that. I understand that every 3 years you have to go in there and dredge the creek. So there's probably other improvements that could happen in the park.
Just to add to that, like some excitement things was around that was we could have the schools be involved a little bit with it as well. I mean, the Boys and Girls Club are already down there, but when it comes to we could hire maybe a student or from UPI or it could be one of the schools to come in and kind of do something similar to what Charlottetown Rural has been doing out there. So it just just some really exciting stuff when it comes to environment. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
If no other comments to be made or questions, the nature tracker update. I believe that's you, Ramona, is it? Or
No, actually, Katrina's going to take this
Katrina
one.
got that right. Sorry. Yeah, Katrina.
That's okay. So yeah, we recently, Jessica and I have been working on this project, and we recently partnered with PEI Nature Trackers, which is it's a website where people can upload sightings of plants and wildlife they see anywhere around the island as a way to sort of track and celebrate it. It's a citizen science initiative. So we partnered with them to create something that would encourage people to get outside in the city and engage and connect with that nature we see all around us that sometimes we don't really notice. So the way that it works, we've called it Charlottetown Nature Trackers, and people who live or are exploring around Charlottetown can photograph the different plants and wildlife that they see and upload them to PEI Nature Tracker. And as motivation to do that, we have different levels that they can achieve, and each of those comes with like a little customized button that they would get and a small prize. We have one called Backyard Hero, and that has to do with uploading sightings of nature in somebody's own yard. We have the Urban Naturalist, which involves uploading sightings in parks or public spaces. And then we have the Community Scientist, which involves uploading sightings of trees that we're monitoring for pests, so ash and elm, or invasive plant species. So we thought that it would be a good way to kind of get an additional benefit out of the project, to be able to track a little bit where those invasive species and potential pests are occurring, so that we can track and monitor and manage that a little bit better. So yeah, once people achieve those levels, it's integrated into the Nature Tracker website now, so it will pop up when people achieve those levels. They can then register for recognition and their prize on our website. And we're going to do a little competition until the end of June, where if people share their sightings to Facebook, they'll also be entered in for a prize package to promote it a little bit more. And that's really the essence of it, where it's just the whole goal behind it is just to get people outside and noticing and appreciating and celebrating the nature that we see all around us.
Yeah, like just to, my only comment I really have is that one of the best parts of Compasses is when someone sends in the picture of the sunset or a lake or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I think if we promote this, I think it could really take off. Yeah, good idea. Yeah. Any questions, Councillor Bird? Nothing? I'm usually seeing him like, why? And so if there's no other questions or any other comments, Ramona, you got anything on that? No?
No, so we just wanted to move ahead with the launch of the Nature Tracker program, and
yeah, I think it'd be great. Like you say, the promotion part of it would be the key right now, I guess. Yeah. Okay, nothing else on that. We'll move to D, which is the B initiative. And Ramona, I think you just,
sure. Yeah. So I just put that on there for discussion. So this week Stratford launched their Bee Watch lawn signs. And we did get some inquiries about whether the city was doing something related to pollinators. Maybe we do have lawn signs. They're connected to our cosmetic pesticide education program. So Katrina, maybe you have one just above your shoulder, if you don't mind, just kind of saying hi and pointing to it. But you've probably seen there, it's on the back of the, oh, sorry, Katrina, it's on the back of your file cabinet.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Anyway, there it is. Exactly. So we do have lawn signs already. So it's not our intent to develop another line of lawn signs. I think it's a great initiative. I know that the pollinator gardens that we discussed in our committee also went to Public Works today, and that was discussed. I don't know if you want to fill the committee in on that or if they were there, Mr. Chair, but more so I put that on the agenda just if there was any discussion kind of on pollinator initiatives.
Yeah. Well, I guess just to the mayor and myself have received some correspondence on bees and how important they are, and that we should be doing more to promote bee growth, and wildflowers was one of them. Instead of just putting in regular flower, we could do some wildflower planting. And of course, what came out of it was, well, whose responsibility? Public Works under urban beautification seemed to be the right fit. So it was discussed today at Public Works, and then it's also going to go to council advisory so that we change we put it in their deck of cards so that it's part of their committee. So that's where that's at. And again, anything we do to help the bees, of course, we know without them, it's a sign of human life as well. If we have bees, and life is good.
Yep. And within that nature program, tracker program that Katrina was talking about, there are some things to recognize the value of pollinators. So, I mean, we could always, as we're promoting that, one of our messages, I'm sure, could be around the value of bees in our sort of natural environment.
Exactly. Okay. Any more comments or questions, folks? I see none. Wow, we're getting along pretty good here. Any introduction of new business? Anyone's got anything you want to throw in?
Nothing here.
Oh, geez, we're good. Outside of that, then I'll be asking for adjournment.
I'll move. I'll second. I'll move. I'll do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Okay. Julie will move, and Councilor Baird will second it. And all those in favor? All right.
Aye.
Okay. Outside of that, guys, thank you very much for taking your time, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Meeting I've ever been in.
Yeah. I know. I don't know. We're too subdued, I guess.
Just wait for the special committee of council on Thursday. I got a couple for you there. Maybe they'll take one.